Welcome back, Rad fans. I'm on my way to RADwood, and it's been 2 long years since we had a RADwood, and I'm pretty excited about it. And as you can see, I'm not in my little Bertone this year. I'm actually borrowing my friend Andrew from Call Cartel, his 924S. The old girl still's got it. Now, if you don't know much about the 924, it says Porsche on it, but they're actually built by Audi. It's got an Audi transmission in the back, and the 924S's have a Porsche engine, but the original ones actually had a Volkswagen engine. And as most of you guys know, the successor to this car was the 944, which is a little bit more popular than the 924s are. But the 924S's actually got a version of the 944 engine that's just detuned just a little bit. But what's hilarious is that they're actually faster than their contemporary naturally aspirated 944s, because the slick sides is more aerodynamic than the 924. So in a lot of ways, the 924S is just a narrow 944. And I gotta say, for being such an old car and naturally aspirated, this thing gets up and moves pretty good. I think they have somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 horsepower. I think it might have actually been 148 specifically. But even after all these years, it still gets up and goes pretty good. And one of the unique things about the 924 and 944 is that they have a rear transaxle, which gives you just a little bit of a rearward bias in weight. It really makes the car hunker down in the rear, scoot around corners, perfect for a sports car. And I'd say the inside is pretty nice too. I mean, we have like leather seats in here, and the dash is kind of basic, but it still looks really nice. And you know, for being such an old car, it's actually holding up like really well. One thing that's kind of funny is that the steering wheel is not movable, and it's like touching my legs. It sits down pretty low, and the dash is kind of low too. You have like a really great visibility like out the front of the car. And of course the pop-up headlights are fantastic, and right now they're just permanently up. Andrew's still working on the pop-up mechanism, and being a hatchback, it's pretty practical too. You can fit a lot of stuff in the rear. This 2.5 liter engine has a nice torquey mid-range too, and it revs up to like 6,200 RPM, it looks like. Sounds pretty good while it's doing it too. Yeah, the old girl can still get up and move. You know, overall, I really enjoy these 924S's. I mean, they're great. I know the 944s are more popular, but man, these things are such a bargain and just such a hoot to drive. It's really fun. I'm so glad Andrew let me borrow it to take it to RADwood. And even though the transmission is all the way in the back, the shifter on this guy actually feels pretty good, nice and solid. That downshift's pretty nice and easy. Yeah, that feels good.
While straightening the curves of the 924 is fun, let's check out RADwood. Now this has just been an itty bit of the show, but if you want to see my full walkthrough, you can click on the card that I'm dropping right now, or just go find it on my channel. That way you make sure you see all the rad rides. But hey, let's get back to that 924.
All right, well, we're heading out of RADwood. Man, that was a lot of fun. Although it was also very exhausting because the wind was relentless. It even ripped the strap off of my hat. But it was a lot of fun. Got to see a lot of cool rad cars. I'm really fond of all the little micro K cars that showed up. Those were always some of my favorites. Yeah, this thing downshift is pretty nice. And it does hook up nice in the corners too. That just slight rearward bias of the weight feels great. So I just filled up the car and I was real curious like which direction the gas pump was on, because this is the first car I've ever seen that doesn't have a little arrow telling you which way is which. This thing scoots. Downshifts in this thing are pretty good. It has a little bit of a lazy like rev up when you're blipping the throttle, but downshifting is pretty easy in the car. And you know, even though the transmission is remote in the back, it feels pretty good. The car sounds pretty nice too. But I want to thank Andrew again for letting me take his 924S, and you know, got to meet a lot of people who were really interested in the car, and I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna give this back to Andrew and take a shower and go to bed. Thanks for watching. Please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you're not already.